Tonight I'll be talking about pension strategies and how to maximise your superannuation entitlements via various strategies available. As you've heard tonight, superannuation is a very attractive structure given the tax concessions that it enjoys. I'm going to extend this further for those over 55 years of age, how to maximise their superannuation balance via various strategies available to them. So in the current turbulent economic times that we're living in, these strategies can go a long way to add value to your portfolios. Tonight I'm going to discuss in detail 4 strategies. They will be a transition to retirement strategy, a withdrawal and recontribution strategy, a strategy involving isolating or separating different pension interests to reduce tax, and lastly, a strategy for couples that involves the breakdown of their pension payments in a tax-effective manner. Now, before I get into the strategies in detail, I just want to provide a quick recap on what a pension actually is. So simply, it's periodic payments from your super fund. Now, these are available in most cases, from 55, according to your preservation age. And pension payments would continue until one of the following events, as you can see behind me, until the account is empty, until the pension is stopped, or until death. Now I just want to have a bit of a look at the benefits of a pension. Why do we bother starting a pension? Well, obviously, we start a pension so we can draw an income stream to assist us meet our retirement needs, our income needs in retirement. But what are the advantages in doing so? Well, the main one is the tax concessions it enjoys. Once you do start a pension, you do render those superannuation interests tax-free. So what that means is any future earnings on income or future capital gains, if you were to sell assets, would be entirely free from tax for the rest of your life. Pension payments is another major benefit. For those over 60, as you may be aware, you'll never pay any tax on pension payments. If you're between 55 and 60, you may be liable, or you would be liable for tax at your marginal rate. However, a 15% tax rebate would reduce that tax. And just the last point I have there is payment flexibility. So effectively, when you start a pension, you do have to nominate the frequency and the amount of the payment. However, this is quite flexible and you can reduce that up or down to suit your needs as required. So this is pretty significant. Once you're 60 years of age and once you start a pension, you'll never pay any tax at all. I can't think of another structure that's that attractive. So that's why it's make the most of it while you can. Now, the first strategy that I want to talk about is a transition to retirement, or TTR strategy. It's quite possible a lot of people in the room have heard about this strategy. It is quite common. It's quite popular. It does have the ability to save you a lot of tax, and at the same time allows you to boost or maximise your contributions and boost your retirement asset base. In terms of what is it, it's really a strategy that is designed to assist from the transition from full-time work to part-time work. And it's available for those that are 55 years and older, and does allow the early access of your superannuation benefits, because otherwise, generally, you have to retire at 55 to gain full access. But this is a way where you can get partial access to your superannuation entitlements. So in terms of how it works, we're just going to have a look at this diagram behind me. It simply involves foregoing part of your salary via salary sacrifice, making contributions to the fund, at the same time drawing a pension. So the real benefit comes out of the tax savings. So we're making contributions via a salary sacrifice, which are taxed at the rate of 15%. Now that's a flat rate. Your marginal tax rate could be as high as 46.5%. So that's a big saving there. And at the same time, you're able to draw a tax-free, for those over 60, a tax-free pension. And like I mentioned earlier, this does have the ability to maximise what you can otherwise put into super, and it really does give your superannuation balance a boost. So I'm just going to work through a case study to explain the benefits of this strategy, spell it out. So we've got Bill here. He's just turned 60 years of age. He currently has a super fund worth $1 million. Now, all of his assets are in the accumulation phase, so he hasn't started a pension as yet. Now, he's self-employed and he's drawing a salary of $100,000 a year, and he has an income requirement of $70,000 to meet his income needs. So what benefit would initiating this TTR strategy provide to Bill? Okay, so working through the figures here, initially, before this strategy, he'd have a salary of $100,000. Now, On $100,000, he'd be liable to pay tax of around $27,000 a year. Now, under this scenario, that's okay because he's still meeting his income needs of $70,000, but he is paying a bit of tax. So after this strategy is initiated, you'll see that he still has a salary of $100,000, however, he's going to forego or salary sacrifice $50,000. Now, in the taxable income column, you'll see that that reduces his taxable income down to $50,000 a year. Now, this has the effect of reducing his personal tax liability from around that $27,000 figure to around $8,000 or to $8,600. So that's around a $18,000 personal tax saving. Now, Bill's also going to draw a pension of a tax-free pension given he's over 60 of $30,000 a year, and that'll bring his net income position up to just over $70,000, which is where he needs it to be to meet his income needs. Now, so one thing I haven't spoken about yet is the superannuation contributions will be taxed at 15%. So that $50,000 he'll pay tax of $7,500 on those contributions. So even taking in that contributions tax, his total tax position under this strategy will be $8,600 plus that $7,500. So, and that adds up to $16,100. Now, under the previous, or before this strategy was undertaken, he was paying around $27,000 in tax. So that's just under $11,000 tax saving per annum by undertaking this strategy. Now, as I mentioned earlier, once you start a pension, it does render your super fund benefits tax-free. So Bill, given he was previously in the accumulation phase, he was paying tax at 15% on his earnings. Now, assuming a $1 million fund generating 6.5% per annum in income, which is $65,000, he was paying annual tax of around just under $10,000, $9,750. So that's another benefit which is added to this strategy. Now, we add those two figures together from the previous slide and this slide. That's a total annual benefit of $20,600 per annum. Now, just a couple of considerations to bear in mind when I was running through that strategy. There is a concessional contribution cap of $50,000 per annum for those over 50 years of age. However, from 1 July next year, that is to be reduced down to $25,000. So that is going to reduce the benefit of this strategy. Now, I just want to have a look at the effect on Bill's wealth by undertaking this strategy over a longer period of time. We're going to look over 10 years. Now, without a TTR strategy, now Bill started with $1 million. I've assumed investment earnings of 7% per annum, which is quite conservative, and assuming no contributions or no withdrawals from his fund, he'd end up with, in 10 years' time, around $1.9 million. Now, after undertaking this strategy, I estimate that his superannuation balance will be worth around $2.2 million. Now, that's close to a $300,000 benefit over a 10-year period by actually undertaking this strategy.